The large spaceship named Dauntless floated silently in the darkness of space. Inside, Fleet Commander Taiho Kim stood tall on the bridge. The blue lights from the screens lit up his face. He was a strong man with many years of space travel behind him. "Status report," Taiho said to his crew. His voice was calm but firm. Lieutenant Gia Park looked up from her screen. Her dark eyes showed worry. "All systems normal, Commander. We are at the edge of known space now." Taiho nodded. Humans had been traveling through space for nearly 70 years. They had built homes on 20 different planets. Yet in all that time, they had found no intelligent life. Only empty planets and some small microbes. Many people on Earth had started to think humans were alone in the universe. "Sir," called Officer Minho Kang suddenly, "I'm picking up something strange." Taiho walked over to Minho's station. "What is it?" "A signal, sir. Not one of ours. It's coming from Sector 7. The bridge went quiet. Everyone turned to look at the main screen. "Show me," Taiho ordered. The screen changed to show a map of nearby space. A blinking red dot moved slowly toward their position. "Is it a ship?" Taiho asked. Minho worked his controls quickly. "Yes, sir. And it's big. 3 times the size of the Dauntless." Taiho felt his heart beat faster, but his face stayed calm. "Send the first contact message on all channels. Follow the protocol." For years, humans had prepared for this moment. The message they sent had math, pictures, and simple language patterns. It was designed to show peaceful intentions to any alien life they might meet. Lieutenant Gia sent the message. Then they waited. "No response," she said after 5 minutes. "Keep trying," Taiho ordered. The red dot on the screen moved closer. "We can now see the ship on visual," Minho reported. "On screen," Taiho said. The main screen changed again. What they saw made several crew members gasp. The alien ship looked nothing like human vessels. It was not smooth or sleek. Instead, it had what looked like bony plates all over its surface. Sharp spines stuck out from its sides. It reminded Taiho of the deep-sea creatures he had seen in Earth's oceans, predators built to hunt and kill. "Still no answer to our messages, sir," Gia reported. "Keep trying," Taiho said. He turned to his weapons officer. "Shields up, but weapons on standby only. We don't want to appear threatening." The alien ship grew larger on their screen as it came closer. "Sir," Minho called out, his voice tense. "They're charging weapons." Before Taiho could respond, a bright beam of energy shot from the alien ship. It hit the Dauntless hard, making the whole ship shake. "Shields at 70%, shouted Security Chief Do-Yun Lee. "They're firing again." Another blast hit them. People held onto their stations as the ship rocked. "Return fire," Taiho ordered. "Target their weapons only." The Dauntless fired back. Blue energy beams shot toward the alien ship. But when they hit, they seemed to do little damage. "Our weapons aren't very effective, sir," Do-Yun reported. "Their shields are absorbing most of the impact." "Sir, we're receiving a transmission," Gia said suddenly. "Audio only." Taiho straightened his back. "Let's hear it." A strange sound filled the bridge. It was a mix of clicks, growls, and hissing. It didn't sound like any language Taiho had ever heard. It made the hair on his arms stand up. "Can we translate it?" he asked. The ship's computer worked for a moment. Then a rough translation came through. "Soft prey. No challenge. Your world next." Cold fear ran down Taiho's spine. He looked at the faces of his crew and saw the same fear in their eyes. "They see us as food," whispered Gia. The alien ship fired again. This time the blast was even stronger. "Shields at 40%, Do-Hyun called out. "We can't take much more of this." Taiho made a quick decision. "All power to engines. Get us out of here, maximum speed." "What about the fight, sir?" asked Do-Hyun. "This isn't a fight we can win," Taiho said grimly. "We need to warn Earth. They need to know what's coming." The Dauntless turned and shot away at full speed. On the screen behind them, they could see the alien ship following. "They're pursuing us," Minho reported. "Can we outrun them?" Taiho asked. "I'm not sure, sir. They're fast." For 3 tense hours, the Dauntless raced through space with the alien ship, close behind. Then slowly, the distance between them began to grow. "They're falling back," Gia said with relief in her voice. Taeho didn't relax. "Don't slow down. Keep going until we reach the jump point." Once they were safely away and ready to jump to faster than light speed, Taeho called his senior officers to the meeting room. "What we saw today changes everything," he told them. "For years we wondered if we were alone. Now we know we're not. And our first neighbors aren't friendly." "Those words they sent," said Gia. "Soft prey. They see us as animals to hunt." Taeho nodded. "They're predators, and they think we're weak." "What do we do?" asked Minho. "We warn Earth," Taeho said firmly. "We tell them everything we saw, and we prepare." "Prepare for what?" asked Do-hyun. Taeho looked at each of them in turn. "For war. These aliens aren't interested in talking or trading or making friends. They want our planets. They want us. And based on what we saw of their technology, they might be able to take what they want." The room was quiet as everyone thought about what this meant. "But there's one thing those aliens don't understand," Taeho continued. His voice grew stronger. "In our long history on Earth, humans have rarely been only prey. More often, we've been predators ourselves. We've hunted, we've fought, we've survived against creatures stronger and faster than us." He stood up straight, his eyes showing a fierce determination. "These aliens think we're easy targets. They think we're soft prey, but they're about to learn something that every predator on Earth discovered long ago." "What's that, sir?" asked Gia. Taeho's face hardened. "Sometimes the prey fights back. And humans? We've never been very good at giving up or giving in. If it's a war they want, we'll show them that they picked the wrong species to hunt." As the Dauntless jumped to light speed, racing toward Earth with its warning, none of the crew knew exactly what would happen next. But they all understood one thing. The universe had suddenly become a much more dangerous place. And humanity would need to become dangerous too if it wanted to survive. The hunt had begun. But who would end up as the hunter, and who would be the prey, was still to be decided. 6 months had passed since the Dauntless returned to Earth with its warning. The world had changed. Countries that once fought each other now worked together. Factories that made cars now made weapons. Scientists who studied stars now studied ways to fight aliens. General Sung-ho Yoon stood in the big room under the city of Seoul. This was now Earth's main defense center. On the wall, large screens showed maps of space. Red dots showed where the aliens, now called the Voraks, had been seen. "They've taken 3 of our outer colonies," said Sung-ho. His face was tired, but his eyes were sharp. "No survivors." Around the table sat Earth's top leaders. Commander Taeho Kim was there too, now wearing the uniform of an admiral. Next to him sat Dr. Yoonha Choi, Earth's best scientist. "What do we know about them?" asked Taeho. Dr. Yoonha stood up. She was small, but spoke with great confidence. "We've learned much from the data you brought back. The Voraks are not like us. Their bodies are covered with hard shells like insects on Earth, but much stronger. They come from a world with very heavy gravity. This makes them naturally strong." She touched a control and a picture of a Vorax appeared on the screen. It looked like a mix between a large insect and a lizard. Its body was covered with natural armor. It had 4 arms ending in sharp claws. "They are pure predators," Yuna continued. "Their ships are partly alive, grown rather than built, and they see humans as nothing but food." The room was quiet as everyone looked at the alien image. "Can we beat them?" asked Colonel Ji-woo Han, the head of Earth's ground forces. Sung-ho sighed. "Not with our current weapons. The Dauntless barely escaped, and our tests show that even our strongest weapons can't easily break through their ship armor." "So we're doomed?" someone asked. "No," said Unha firmly. "We have one advantage. The Voraks are strong, but they're not creative. They've been the top hunters in space for so long that they don't need to think of new ways to fight." Taeho nodded. "I saw this in our battle. They just came straight at us. No tricks, no smart moves, just raw power. Exactly, said Yunha. And I've been working on something that might help us. She showed them pictures of a new device. I call it the pulse. It uses sound waves at a special frequency. It won't work on humans, but for the Vorax it should shatter their hard shells from the inside. Like how a singer can break a glass with the right note? Asked Jiwoo. Unha smiled. Yes, but much more powerful. Sungho looked skeptical. You think sound can hurt them when our biggest guns can't? It's worth trying, said Taeho. How soon can we test it? 2 weeks, Yunha answered. But we'll need a Vorax ship to test it on. Sungho stood up straight. Then we'll get you one. Admiral Kim, prepare your best ship for a hunting mission. 2 weeks later, the newly built ship named Defiance waited at the edge of the solar system. It was smaller than most warships, but packed with new technology. Captain Minji Ryu sat in the command chair. She was young, but had proven herself in space combat training. Sensors show a single Vorax scout ship entering the system, reported Officer Dongyun Park at the scanner station. Minji nodded. Perfect. They don't usually travel alone. This is our chance. The Defiance stayed hidden behind a small moon, engines off, waiting like a hunter in the shadows. The Vorax ship is passing by in 30 seconds, said Dongyun quietly. Minji took a deep breath. On my mark, full power to engines. Get us close enough to use the pulse. The bridge crew watched the screens as the bony shape of the Vorax scout moved slowly past their hiding spot. Now, ordered Minji. The Defiance shot out from behind the moon, engines burning bright. The Vorax ship immediately turned to attack, its weapons ports beginning to glow. They're charging weapons, called Dongyun. Evasive pattern Delta, Minji commanded calmly. Get us within pulse range. The human ship danced through space, dodging the energy beams from the Vorax vessel. The alien weapons were powerful but slow to aim. We're in range, reported the weapons officer Junho Bei. Activate the pulse, ordered Minji. From the front of the Defiance, waves of invisible energy shot out toward the Vorax ship. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the alien vessel began to shake. Small cracks appeared in its bony hull. The cracks grew larger, spreading like spiderwebs across the surface. It's working, shouted Junho. The Vorax ship tried to turn away, but it was too late. With a silent flash, it broke apart into thousands of pieces. Minji couldn't believe her eyes. Did we just win? Back on Earth, the news of the victory spread quickly. For the first time since the Vorax appeared, people felt hope. Dr. Yunha worked day and night to make more pulse weapons, while General Sungho planned Earth's defense. But the Vorax were learning too. A month after the first successful test, 3 Earth ships with pulse weapons attacked a Vorax patrol. The pulse worked on the first alien ship, but the other 2 quickly changed their shields. They adapt fast, Taeho told the War Council after getting the report. The pulse won't work for long. Then we'll make new weapons, said Sungho firmly. If they adapt, we'll adapt faster. Over the next few months, the war with the Vorax became a strange kind of dance. Humans would create a new weapon or tactic. It would work for a while. Then the Vorax would find a way to counter it. Humans would lose ground, then create something new and take it back. In a secret lab under the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Yunha worked on her biggest project yet. She called General Sungho and Admiral Taeho to see it. This, she said, pointing to a large cylinder, is the evolution trigger. What does it do? Asked Taeho. The Vorax ships are partly alive, remember? They adapt by changing their biology to meet new threats. But this device forces them to change too fast with no control. Sungho looked confused. You mean it makes them evolve? Yes, but in a chaotic way. Their bodies and ships will start changing randomly. They won't be able to function. Taeho walked around the device slowly. And you're sure it will work? Yuna's face grew serious. No, I'm not sure. This is new science. But our scouts report the Vorax are gathering their biggest fleet yet. They're planning to hit Earth directly. We need something big to stop them. The 3 stood in silence, looking at the device that might save their world. Finally, Sungho spoke. How soon can it be ready for battle? 1 week, said Yunha. Make it 3 days, said Sungho. Our latest reports show the Vorax fleet is moving faster than we thought. We don't have much time. As they left the lab, Taeho stopped Sungho in the hallway. Do you think we can win this? Sungho's face was grim. I don't know. But I do know one thing. Through all of human history, we've been both predator and prey. We know how to hunt and we know how to survive being hunted. The Vorax only know how to be predators, and that might be their biggest weakness. High above Earth, thousands of ships were being prepared for the biggest battle in human history. The hunters were coming, but this time the prey was ready. In the cold darkness of space far from Earth, the Vorax Supreme Leader floated in a special tank. Its name was Apex, and it had ruled the Vorax for over 200 years. Never before had Apex felt worried about a hunt. But now, as reports of human victories came in, strange new feelings stirred in its mind. How many ships have we lost? Apex asked the Vorax commander standing nearby. 27, Great Hunter, replied the commander. Its voice was a mix of clicks and growls. The soft prey fights in ways we have never seen. Apex's 4 eyes narrowed. They are not acting like prey. Prey runs. Prey hides. These humans, they hunt us back. What should we do? Asked the commander. Apex thought for a long moment. We must learn about our enemy. Bring me humans to study. Living ones. Meanwhile on Earth, Admiral Taeho Kim stood on the bridge of humanity's new flagship, the Guardian. It was the biggest ship humans had ever built, filled with their best weapons and shields. Admiral, we've spotted 3 Vorax ships near Mars, reported Officer Donghyun Park. They seem to be looking for something. Taeho frowned. The Vorax usually attacked in large groups. 3 ships alone was strange. What are they doing? He asked. They're not attacking our bases, said Donghyun. They're scanning, like they're searching for something specific. Taeho didn't like this. Tell General Sungho, I think the Vorax are changing their tactics. In her lab, Dr. Yuna worked day and night on the evolution trigger. The device was almost ready, but she needed more time to test it. Her assistant, Ji-Yu Bei, looked worried. What if it doesn't work? Or worse, what if it affects humans too? Yuna shook her head. It won't. Human DNA is too different from Vorax biology. But you're right to worry about it working. We only get one chance to use this. The Vorax will adapt quickly. Just then, General Sungho entered the lab. His face was grim. We have a problem. The Vorax have started taking human prisoners. Unha's eyes widened. What? Why would they do that? We think they're studying us, said Sungho, learning our weaknesses. That's not good, said Yunha. If they start to understand how we think, our advantage will be gone. Sungho nodded. How soon can the evolution trigger be ready? 2 days, said Yunha. But a loud alarm cut her off. Red lights flashed throughout the base. What's happening? Yuna asked. Sungho's face went pale as he listened to the message in his earpiece. The Vorax have broken through our outer defenses. They're heading for Earth. And it's not just a few ships, it's their entire fleet. On the Guardian, Taeho received the same news. All ships to battle stations, he ordered. Form defensive line at lunar orbit. Earth's fleet of 500 ships moved into position around the moon. They were the last line of defense before Earth itself. Taeho opened a channel to all ships. This is Admiral Kim. The moment we've prepared for is here. The Vorax think we're prey, but today we show them that humans are the most dangerous hunters in the galaxy. Fight smart. Use their size against them. Remember your training. On the main screen, thousands of Vorax ships appeared, moving toward Earth like a swarm of hungry insects. They outnumber us 5 to 1, said Donghyun quietly. Taeho nodded. Yes, but we have something they don't. He turned to his communications officer. Get me Dr. Yunha. Yunha's face appeared on a small screen. Admiral, the evolution trigger isn't fully tested yet. There's no time, said Taeho. The Vorax are here in full force. Can you send the device to my ship? Yunha hesitated, then nodded. It's being loaded onto a transport now. But Admiral, be careful. This device affects living tissue. The Vorax ships are partly alive, so it should work on them. But we don't know what else it might do. Understood, said Taeho. We'll be careful. As the human and Vorax fleets drew closer, tension filled the Guardian's bridge. This would be the biggest space battle in human history. Vorax fleet in range, reported Dongyun. They're charging weapons. All ships, evasive pattern Omega, ordered Taeho. Don't let them lock onto you. The battle began. Vorax ships fired powerful energy beams at the human fleet. Human ships fired back with missiles and energy weapons of their own. Space lit up, with explosions as ships on both sides were hit. The Guardian shook as enemy fire struck its shields. Shields at 70%, called out the defense officer. Where's that transport with the evolution trigger? Taeho demanded. Almost here, sir. 2 minutes. The battle wasn't going well. Despite fighting bravely, human ships were being destroyed one by one. The Vorax were too many and too strong. Transport arriving now, Admiral, reported Donghyun. Bring it in and get that device to the weapons bay immediately, ordered Taeho. As crew members rushed to install the evolution trigger, the Guardian took more hits. Shields at 40%, warned the defense officer. We can't take much more of this. Finally, the report came. Evolution trigger installed and ready, Admiral. Taeho took a deep breath. Target the center of the Vorax fleet. Fire when ready. From the Guardian, a strange pulse of energy shot out. It wasn't bright or loud. It didn't look dangerous. It simply spread outward, passing through both human and Vorax ships alike. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Dongyun called out, Sir, look at the Vorax ships. On the screen, the nearest Vorax vessels began to change. Their bony hulls started to bend and twist. Some grew new spines. Others developed strange bulges. It was as if their bodies couldn't decide what shape to be. It's working, said Taeho in amazement. Throughout the Vorax fleet, ships began to lose control. Some fired weapons randomly. Others crashed into each other. The great attack force was falling into chaos. Aboard the Vorax command ship, Apex felt its body changing. Pain shot through its limbs as bones shifted and organs rearranged themselves. All around, other Vorax were experiencing the same agony. What is happening? Apex managed to ask. No one could answer. The Vorax had never experienced anything like this before. They had always been the perfect hunters, their bodies ideally suited for killing. Now those bodies were betraying them, changing in ways they couldn't control. Apex made a difficult decision. All ships, retreat, it ordered through waves of pain. Leave this system. On the Guardian, cheers erupted as the Vorax fleet began to turn away. They're running, shouted Dongyun. Taeho didn't join the celebration. Let them go, he ordered, and stop firing. We've won this battle. Later, in a meeting room on Earth, Taeho sat with General Sungho and Dr. Yunha. The evolution trigger worked better than we hoped, said Yunha. But it won't work again. The Vorax will find a way to protect themselves. Will they come back? Asked Sungho. Taeho nodded slowly. Yes, maybe not today or tomorrow, but they will return. Predators don't give up easily when they're hungry. Neither do humans when we're fighting for our home, said Sungho. And next time we'll be ready. Far away in deep space, the damaged Vorax fleet limped home. For the first time in their long history as hunters, they had been defeated. They had been hunted. And they had learned a new feeling. Fear. The prey had become the predator. And the galaxy would never be the same. 1 year had passed since the great battle near Earth. Humans had won that day, but the war was not over. The Vorax had retreated to heal and plan. Humans used this time to build more ships and better weapons. Both sides knew another battle would come. On the edge of the solar system, a small human ship called the Scout moved quietly through space. Captain Gia Park stood on its bridge watching the stars. Once she had been a lieutenant on the Dauntless, the first ship to meet the Vorax. Now she commanded her own vessel. Anything on the scanners? She asked her crew. Nothing yet, Captain. replied Sensor Officer Hanali. Space is quiet today. Gia nodded. Their job was to watch for any sign of the Vorax returning. For 6 months, they had seen nothing. Some people on Earth had started to hope the aliens would never come back. Gia knew better. "Captain," called out Hana suddenly, "I'm picking up something strange." Gia moved quickly to the scanner station. "Vorax ships?" "No," said Hana, looking confused. "It's different. Not Vorax, not human." On the screen, a single ship appeared. It was nothing like the bony Vorax, vessels, or the metal human ships. It looked like it was made of crystal that caught the light of distant stars. "It's sending a message," reported Communications Officer Minjin Cho. "In English?" Gia's eyes widened. "Put it on the main screen." The screen changed to show an alien unlike any they had seen before. It was tall and thin, with skin that sparkled like diamonds. It had no mouth, but words appeared as text below its image. "Greetings, humans. We are the Lumina. We wish to speak with your leaders." Back on Earth, Admiral Taeho Kim listened to Captain Gia's report with growing interest. "And you're sure they're not Vorax?" he asked. "Completely different, Admiral," replied Gia's image on the screen. "They seem peaceful. They've agreed to follow us to Earth with just one ship." Taeho turned to General Sungho, who stood nearby. "What do you think?" Sungho's face was serious. "It could be a trick, but if there are other aliens out there besides the Vorax, we should talk to them." "Agreed," said Taeho. "Captain Gia, bring them in, but keep your weapons ready just in case." 2 days later, the crystal ship entered Earth orbit. A small shuttle came down to land at the Seoul Space Center, where Earth's leaders waited. The shuttle door opened, and 3 Lumina stepped out. They moved with a strange grace, their crystal bodies catching the sunlight. One stepped forward, a device on its chest translating its thoughts into a soft voice. "We thank you for allowing us to come," it said. "I am Seraph, speaker for the Lumina High Council." General Sungho stepped forward. "I am General Sungho Yoon of Earth's Defense Force. This is Admiral Taeho Kim and Dr. Yoonha Choi. Welcome to our world." Seraph bowed slightly. "We have watched your battle with the Vorax with great interest. For 1,000 years our people have hidden from the Vorax. We are not fighters. We thought no one could stand against them. Yet you did." Taeho frowned. "You've been watching us?" "From a safe distance," said Seraph. "Many species in this part of the galaxy have hidden from the Vorax for generations. Some live underground on their planets. Others, like us, move our worlds to stay hidden." "You can move your planets?" asked Dr. Yoonha in amazement. "With great effort, yes," replied Seraph. "It is easier than fighting the Vorax. Or it was, until now." In a large meeting room, the humans and Lumina talked for hours. Seraph explained that there were 12 different alien species in nearby space, all living in fear of the Vorax. None had dared to fight back before humans showed it was possible. "We have come to ask for your help," said Seraph. "The Vorax will return, stronger than before. They see your victory as a challenge they must answer. When they come, they will bring their full might." Sungho looked worried. "How many ships do they have?" "Thousands," said Seraph. "Many more than you faced before." The room grew quiet. Even with their new weapons, humans couldn't fight thousands of Vorax ships. "What about your people?" asked Taeho. "And these other species? Will you help us fight?" Seraph's crystal body dimmed slightly. "We are not warriors. We have hidden for so long we have forgotten how to fight. But we have other skills. Knowledge, technology. If we work together, perhaps we can find a way." Over the next months, ships from other alien species began to arrive at Earth. The Lumina came with their crystal technology. The Grav, heavy beings from a large planet, brought gravity weapons. The Mist, who looked like blue fog, shared their cloaking devices. Each species had hidden something from the Vorax that might now help in the fight. Dr. Yunhe worked day and night with alien scientists. Together, they created new weapons and shields. Human factories built ships faster than ever before. Then one day, the warning came. The Vorax were returning. This time they brought 5,000 ships. Admiral Taiho stood on the bridge of the New Earth flagship, the Unity. Around him, a fleet of 2,000 ships waited, human vessels alongside alien craft of all shapes and sizes. The Vorax will be here in 1 hour, he told his crew. This is the day we've prepared for, not just for Earth, but for all free species in the galaxy. On the main screen, the Vorax fleet appeared. At its center was a massive new ship, 10 times larger than any they had seen before. This was the Apex Throne, carrying the Vorax Supreme, leader. As the two fleets faced each other, a message came from the Vorax. "Humans," growled the voice of Apex, "you have proven yourselves worthy prey. But today the hunt ends. Surrender your world, and we will make your deaths quick." Taiho smiled slightly and sent back a reply, "We are not prey." The battle began. Vorax ships charged forward, firing their powerful weapons. But this time, the Allied fleet was ready. Human ships darted between the larger Vorax vessels, firing targeted shots at weak points discovered by the Mist Scouts. Lumina ships projected crystal shields that reflected Vorax energy beams back at them. Grav ships created gravity wells that pulled Vorax vessels off course. For the first time, the Vorax faced not just humans, but a united galaxy. On the Apex Throne, the Vorax leader watched in anger as its fleet struggled. This was not how hunts were supposed to go. Prey should run and die, not fight back with such clever tactics. "Target the human flagship," ordered Apex. "Destroy their leader." The Apex Throne turned its main weapon toward the Unity. A massive energy beam shot out, hitting the human ship hard. But the Unity's new shields, designed by Dr. Yunhe and the Lumina, held firm. "Return fire," ordered Taiho calmly. "All ships target the Apex Throne." From every Allied ship, energy beams and missiles converged on the Vorax command vessel. Its shields began to fail under the combined assault. Apex felt something it had never known before: defeat. For countless years, the Vorax had been the galaxy's top predators. No one dared to challenge them. But these humans had changed everything. "All ships retreat," ordered Apex. But it was too late. The Apex Throne's engines were damaged. It couldn't escape. As the massive Vorax ship drifted helplessly, Taiho opened a channel. "Apex, your fleet is beaten. Surrender now." There was a long silence. Then the reply came, "Vorax, do not surrender." "Then you leave us no choice," said Taiho sadly. He turned to his weapons officer. "End this." The final shots hit the Apex Throne, breaking it apart in a great explosion. Around it, the remaining Vorax ships began to flee in all directions. 3 days later, representatives from all 13 Allied species met on Earth. They signed the First Galactic Alliance Treaty, agreeing to protect each other from threats like the Vorax. Taiho looked out at the strange gathering: crystalline lumina, foggy mist, heavy grav, and many others, all standing with humans. "Today marks a new beginning," he said. "For too long, the galaxy lived under the shadow of the Vorax. They thought being the strongest made them invincible. But we proved something important." Seraph of the Lumina finished his thought. "That sometimes, the most dangerous creature is not the one with the sharpest claws, but the one," added Taiho, "that never stops fighting back." Throughout the galaxy, species that had hidden for generations began to emerge, joining the new alliance. The age of the Vorax was over. A new age had begun. And at its center stood the species that no one had expected to change everything: the humans who refused to be prey.